you imagine, in a Donald Trump administration, one of Donald Trump's sons suing his father's IRS and the Trump DOJ coming out against Eric or Don Jr. in the case? Or how about that same Trump DOJ bringing a novel criminal case against one of Donald Trump's sons? Criminal charges that, under those circumstances, have literally never been filed before. Well, that's exactly what's happening now with President Joe Biden and his son Hunter. Both cases heating up yesterday, with the DOJ filing two motions vehemently opposing Hunter Biden's position in a pair of federal cases, one criminal, one civil. And yet some on the right keep saying that the DOJ has treated the president's son and is treating the president's son with kid gloves, that Joe Biden's DOJ has given Hunter a free ride and is compromised.
If you are the president's son, you get a sweetheart deal.
Talk about justice not being fair for everyone. God help anybody who did that who wasn't the president's son.
If his last name wasn't Biden, he would have been thrown in jail a long time ago.
But if that's all true, then why did the DOJ move to dismiss Hunter's lawsuit against the IRS in D.C. federal court? And why did they oppose Hunter's push to throw out the felony gun charge against him? Right now, the battle between Hunter Biden and a DOJ that's supposedly protecting him is being fought on numerous fronts. Start with a civil case. In September, Hunter sued the IRS in D.C. federal court, accusing two IRS whistleblowers of sharing his private tax information with the media as part of a campaign to, quote, embarrass and inflict harm on him. You'll recall that the whistleblowers, Gary Shapley and Joseph Ziegler, testified before the House Oversight Committee back in July and alleged that the federal prosecutor overseeing the Biden investigation, David Weiss, a lifelong Republican, was protecting Hunter Biden, a claim Weiss has vehemently denied. Crucially, he was later given special counsel designation, meaning he calls the shots. But this DOJ, Joe Biden's DOJ, is fighting back against Joe Biden's son by filing a motion to dismiss his lawsuit against the IRS. The DOJ argues that the IRS was not negligent and did not show any, quote, intentionality or willingness in not protecting Hunter's tax information. That is to say, they're saying the IRS did what it could to keep the information from getting out. They're not looking to settle the case, not looking to get rid of it quietly. They want the whole thing tossed. That's a Department of Justice looking to protect a government agency and not the president's son, which is exactly how it should be. And then there's the gun case, a criminal case. Late yesterday, the DOJ filed a motion opposing Hunter Biden's move to have the gun charge against him dismissed. Now, this is the case where he's alleged to have lied about his drug use on a gun license application. There has never been another criminal prosecution ever of someone just for lying about drug use on a gun form where, one, there was just one gun, two, the gun was not used in a crime, three, there was no other crime committed with it, and four, where the person had no criminal record. No case ever. Now, that does not mean he didn't commit a crime. Hunter's attorney, Abby Lowell, argued that Hunter Biden is a victim of, quote, selective prosecution because, quote, Mr. Biden, that is Hunter, is politically affiliated with his father, the sitting president, and a candidate for re-election. The argument they're making is that Weiss, a Trump-appointed federal prosecutor, is essentially doing Donald Trump's bidding and taking his marching orders from Truth Social posts. But yesterday, David Weiss vehemently rejected that, saying, quote, the charges in this case are not trumped up or because of former President Trump. They were brought in spite of, not because of, outside noise made by politicians. Weiss added, quote, stripped of its bluster, the defendant's theory of vindictiveness is simply not credible. Left with the inconvenient truth of trying to explain how this could happen during the Biden administration, the defendant suggests that evil motives are lurking deep within the Department of Justice. So you have some on the right claiming the DOJ is biased for Hunter Biden because of his dad, and you have Hunter Biden's lawyers arguing that the DOJ is biased against him because of his dad. But isn't it possible they're both wrong? That both Hunter Biden and Donald Trump's prosecutions are not being decided by Joe Biden personally? There's nothing to indicate that he's controlling it. I mean, if he were really pulling the strings, wouldn't he figure out how to take his son off the hook on charges that could put him in prison for decades? Keep in mind, we're not even talking about the separate tax case against Hunter Biden, a 9-count indictment with 3 felonies carry a maximum of 17 years. Joe Biden's Justice Department has charged Hunter Biden with 12 criminal counts. So again, could you imagine one of Donald Trump's children ever facing such serious charges under a Trump presidency? So take what Hunter's lawyers say with a grain of salt. Same goes for the other side. And I know no one on either side wants to give the DOJ any credit for trying to play it straight, but maybe, just maybe, they're getting it just right. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.